and welcome to another Yankees Classic. I'm John Sterling. During the fall of 2002, Japanese superstar slugger Hideki Matsui announced his desire to come to America and play in our major leagues. Matsui was Japan's biggest sports star. As the cleanup hitter for Tokyo's Yomiuri Giants, he had already accumulated 3 MVP awards. He had endeared himself to all Japanese fans with the nickname Godzilla for his awesome power and soft heart. Still only 28 years old, Matsui had blasted 50 home runs in 2002 to go along with the .334 batting average. The Yankees had an allure to Matsui, and the Yankees closed the deal to bring Godzilla to the Big Apple. The press conference announcing his signing was a media frenzy. Reporters and photographers from around the world swarmed the room as Mayor Bloomberg and the Yankees welcomed Matsui to New York. The Yankees began 2003 in Toronto, where Matsui delivered a run-scoring single in his first at-bat. After 6 road games, the Yankees finally came home. An unusually late snowstorm delayed the home opener a day. But finally, Yankees fans would get a chance to see Matsui. How long would it take Godzilla to impress the Bronx faithful and welcome him into pinstripes? Not long, it turned out, as April 8th, 2003 was another memorable home opener for the storied franchise.
Well, we are ready for baseball. The Yankees opened the season on the road, 3 straight in Toronto, and then they took 2 of 3 in Tampa Bay. So a proper start to their season at 5-1, and now the home campaign opens as Jock Jones digs in. Andy Pettitte is ready, and here we go at Yankee Stadium with the first pitch. It's a little bit high. And the 1-0. There's a strike. The official first pitch temperature is 36 degrees. It feels a lot colder. The wind chill says it's about 29 on the field. And the teams are bundled up. Swing and a miss.
The players today, Kitty, the players, especially the hitters, and I'm sure that the pitchers do the same thing. We'll take another look at this good breaking ball as Jones swings over the top of it. They have those hand warmers in their back pockets.
Well, that didn't help Jock Jones as he goes down on strike. So Andy Pettitte starts the game with a strikeout, 1 away.
Boy, that is very impressive to have this kind of a breaking ball in weather that is so difficult to grip the baseball. And I guess, as Jorge Posada told you, they're going to go with their same pattern. He threw 3 great breaking balls. Now check out Andy Pettitte's eyes. He's almost squinting and glaring. If he's doing that, you can imagine what the hitter's going through.
Here's Christian Guzman, and that's outside.
That's another good point, too, Kitty, because in cold weather, your eyes, they tear up a little bit more, a little bit easier. Talking to Posada about throwing inside, he said, well, we will probably go with more breaking pitches because if the guy hits the ball on the end of the bat, he's going to get more of a sting out of it than if we jam him.
I'll tell you, it's unbelievable to me that the 4 breaking pitches he's thrown already have been like he's pitching on the 4th of July.
Guzman 3 for 21 lifetime against Pettitte, and of that streak, 10 strikeouts. Any concern about Andy Pettitte's elbow, which he was on the DL with last year in this kind of weather?
The only concern would be between innings. Not while you're pitching, but between innings, you have to be very careful to stay where it's warm. Keep your hand in between a couple hot water bottles.
That one is lined into center field. Coming on Bernie Williams. He cannot get there, so Guzman dunks a base hit for the first hit of the game, a 1-out single.
Well, this is a bit of a jam shot, but Guzman able to fight it off for the first base hit of this game. Not good location by Pettitte. If you had to ask him again, he'd want that pitch down a little bit in the strike zone and not so much up in the strike zone.
They are allowing the pitchers to blow on their hands, and the umpires give you permission before the game because of the inclement weather. Here's Corey Koski. Swing and a miss.
Another good curve.
This is the home opener at Yankee Stadium. It was snowed out yesterday. 5 inches of snow blanketed the New York area. Now you might look at the outfield here at the stadium and go, well, why does it look so great? Well, what the Yankees did, very heads up, they got the forecast for snow. They sent a truck over to Giant Stadium, and they got the tarpaulin for the football field at Giant Stadium, and the entire field, not just the infield, but the outfield was covered as well, so it is in great shape.
What they did, Michael, after they took the snow off the tarpaulin, they put all the snow in both dugouts, and then they got a steam machine and steamed the snow that was in the dugouts and melted all the snow, so you don't see anything around there. You don't even see a trace of it. What a great job. They've been out here since 5 a.m. yesterday morning.
Danny Cunningham and the Yankee grounds crew deserve kudos for this job, because it's not easy to get this ballpark ready, let alone the field, when you have snow like that. You don't want snow in the stands, because that could create all sorts of problems, so they got rid of that. And there's hardly any snow visible whatsoever in this ballpark. They did an outstanding job. The 1-2. Just got a piece. A lot of these players, as you can see, have heavy sweatshirts underneath their uniform. And you wonder, does that inhibit them at all?
I don't think so. You'll notice all the players like Robin Ventura, they're moving around. That's why the best thing to be today as a pitcher, those outfielders and infielders, be a little chilly. Pitcher's always moving.
You really have to wonder about Eric Almonte. We just had that shot. He doesn't even have a long sleeve shirt. I guess he's so hot because he's the Yankee shortstop right now. He doesn't feel it.
Again, when you're out in the field, you know, your mind's on other things. I think it's between innings that it's more important to stay warm.
Well, he is the only Yankee without a long sleeve shirt under the home white pinstripes. Now the dugouts are warmer because the inside of each step have little heaters that blow hot air out toward the players that are sitting. So you'll see open spaces on the bench. You wonder why. Well, that's where there might not be a heater on the stair in front.
Both dugouts. Well, the Yankee dugout also has heat and air. So in the summertime, they're blowing air conditioning. They're blowing the cold air through there.
You'd have liked to have that some of those early games in Minnesota, wouldn't you?
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. That's when the Yankees, actually, when they played in Minnesota 35, 40 years ago, Steve Hamilton, their player rep, tried to get a law passed that no game would start with the temperature less than 38 degrees.
32 degrees, I thought it was.
No, it was 38.
Was it 38?
Yeah. And if that was the case, it wouldn't be playing today.
2-2. Grounded to second. Let's see if they get two. There's one. And there's 2, 4, 6, 3, double play. And Pettit works out of a mini jam. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left. No score, Yankees and the Twins. Well, the Twins don't score in the top of the first inning. It's the Yankees' turn now. Joe Torre put together this lineup. Red hot Alfonso Soriano leads off. He'll play second base. The first baseman is Nick Johnson. He'll bat second. Batting third and DHing Jason Giambi. Bernie Williams in center field. He's been red hot as well. He'll bat cleanup. Batting fifth, the left fielder playing his first game at Yankee Stadium, Hideki Matsui, has hit safely in all 6 games he's played so far. Still looking for his first home run. Jorge Posada will catch. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, the playing third base, Robin Ventura. Raul Mondesi's gotten off to a great start on the road trip. He'll play in right field. He'll bat eighth, and batting ninth and filling in for the injured Derek Jeter, the shortstop, Eric Almonte.
And they'll face 27-year-old right-hander Joe Mays, off to a good start. Only 5 innings in his first. There's a reason for that. He only went 5, picked up a win. And let's check out the scouting report on the right-hander. Joe Mays is a to and fro guy. That means not side to side, but he's got a good fastball and a good changeup. They're going to be cautious with his elbow. That's why he only went 5 innings. He had some surgery to remove some loose bodies there. He is an all-star quality pitcher. 2 years ago, 17 wins. Pitched a great game against the world champion Angels in game 1 of the championship series last year.
Lifetime against the Yankees, 1-4 with a 4.28 ERA. Soriano loves to jump on the first pitch. I'm sure Mays knows that. We'll see how he starts him off. Breaking ball a little bit high, 1-0. Soriano was named the American League Player of the Week for the first week of the season, and you see those numbers and they tell you why. Not only does he have a 6-game hitting streak, but all multi-hit games. Soriano Johnson, and Giambi, the first 3 men in the Yankee lineup, have 7 home runs. The Twins have 4 as a team. There's a ground ball to short. Guzman to Mankiewicz, 1 away.
Number 36, Nick Johnson. First base.
Nick Johnson steps in. .263 so far this year. There's a line drive to left field, a base hit for Nick Johnson. Nice piece of hitting. Took a pitch away and lined it that way. So a 1-out single for Nick Johnson.
Yeah, Michael and Jimmy, Joe Torre's been toying a little bit with that second-place hitter now that Derek Jeter's on the disabled list, and Johnson prototypically fits that bill pretty good, other than the fact that he doesn't have a whole lot of speed to hit into the second slot. A pitch away from Joe Mays, and Nick Johnson shows why the Yankees are so high on him, not only defensively but offensively, hitting the ball to all areas. You just got to believe that what we've seen in Nick Johnson from last year to this year, like Soriano, he just keeps getting better and better and better.
Here's Giambi hitting just .208, but he has a pretty good on-base percentage. I believe he's walked 7 times so far this year. And that one's hit deep to right field. Going back to Dyer. He's on the track, and he'll make the play as he bangs into the wall. So Giambi flirts with a home run, but run down by Kadire for the second out of the inning, and Nick Johnson gets back.
That might be one of those stingers, Bobby.
Yeah.
That might have got the, let's see if it got the end of the bat. Ooh, that'd make you wring your hands a little bit.
I know what he's feeling like, for sure. The ball just running away a little bit from Giambi, and he's out in front, and he catches it on the end of the bat and just doesn't get enough of it to leave the yard.
Here's Bernie Williams. Williams has started the season in proper fashion. Everything he hits seems to be right on the screws, hitting .444. That's his best start in April ever. He's a .270 some odd hitter in April in his career. Always starts off slowly. And this year he's feeling healthy because he was able to do shoulder exercises during the winter. Really paid attention to that. Last year he didn't get on track until he had cortisone shots in each of his shoulders on April 15th. He's also making contact all the time. In 27 at-bats, he only has 1 strikeout. He's worked the count 2-0.
Well, you can imagine if you don't have full range of your shoulders and you've got pain in your shoulders, that Matsui is looking for his first time at the plate at Yankee Stadium. You can imagine what you go up there with your mind thinking about your shoulders and the pain and not concentrating on the pitcher.
Pulls the string on Bernie, and Bernie way out in front.
That's the to and fro, Joe Mays. Excellent change-up to go along with the sinking fastball. 2-0 sitting on a fastball, and he took a little off.
Boy, that's a tough league when you work the count 2-0 or 3-1 and you see a changeup.
What it is when you work 2-0 and you can throw those type of pitches, you're looking at a guy that can win 20 games for you and throw them for strikes.
They have another guy on their staff who's an outstanding changeup artist, and that's Brad Radke. He will not start in this series. Ron Gardenhire, the manager of the Twins, doing his Leo Mazzoni imitation. Runner goes, and the pitch is high. The throw to second is not in time. It gets away from Guzman, and Nick Johnson gets up and goes to third. He'll make it. Heads up base running by Nick Johnson.
Joe Torre's favorite running count, 3-1. And actually it was 2-1, and Bernie takes that one. Johnson slides underneath the tag, and with Guzman trying to catch it on the run, boy, you can almost see the frustration in Pierzynski, the catchers. They like to see infielders get to the bag and stay there instead of try to kind of fancy Dan and catch it on the run, and it cost the Twins a base there.
Full count on Bernie, and the pitch. Driven out to deep right center field. Didn't get enough, though. Kadire is there. And he'll put it away for the final out of the inning. We'll have to wait for Matsui's Yankee debut, at least at the plate, until the next inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left. We played 1, no score, Yankees and the Twins. We go to the second inning. Torrey Hunter will lead off against Andy Pettitte. Foul back. Now the Twins, in this age of revenue sharing where you see teams with no shame whatsoever, you see the scouting report on the All-Star, no shame at all, take added revenue sharing and put it into their pocket. The Twins actually went out and signed one of their good young players, Torrey Hunter, to a 4-year, $32 million deal. He's gotten off to a rough start, but that is a commitment by the franchise. We're going to keep our players with the money that we're getting.
There is a few other players whose contracts were renewed that they hope that the Twins part with a little more of that money.
That's popped up. Right side. Soriano, 1 away.
And that's Pierzynski and Guardado, but they did spring for Hunter, and they have got a surplus of talented outfielders, not just the ones here on the major league roster, but even in the minor league. I mean, they've got 3 guys in right field: Kadire, Keelty, and Dustin Moore, who's one of their outstanding players last year. They've got 3 right fielders that could probably play for a lot of ball clubs.
There's Matthew Lecroy, 2 for 17 so far this year. That one's hit sharply to short, right there. Almonte, 2 away.
Think about this. $169 million was distributed amongst the small market teams last year, over 250 this year, and they're talking about over $300 million next year to be distributed amongst the small market team. With that kind of money, it kind of makes you want to buy one.
Why don't we go buy one of those like the Expos, and we'll take that money and build us a new golf course. We have to spend it on players.
With that kind of money, the reason I bring that up, with that kind of money, why not sign?
Right.
That's what it's there for, to sign those types of players like Hunter and Pierzynski.
And then you hear teams like the Oakland A's, they can't sign the MVP of the American League, Miguel Tejada. Makes you scratch your head. Pitch to Mankiewicz is a little bit low, and then a team like the Kansas City Royals, they're off to their best start ever. They can't sign their center fielder.
You know, a caveat to that too, Michael, is the fact that the teams, once they get that money, they don't have to spend it on player personnel. They can spend it on anything within their organization. Take down their debt, liability, whatever.
Mankiewicz fouls one off.
I tell you, the Twins have done. I mean, Terry Ryan, their general manager, was the executive of the year. Their organization was the organization of the year. They have really signed, like this young man right here, Doug Mankiewicz, a lot of talented young players, and that's why they won the American League Central last year, and they should only get better.
Top of the second inning, no score, 2 outs against Andy Pettitte, and the pitch a little bit high. Mankiewicz did not have a great year last year after a very good year the previous season. He had 261 last year. He really had an off-season workout program that he hopes is going to pay off. It doesn't right there. A fly ball to center field. Bernie puts it away. And a 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettitte and the Yankees. When we come back, that man, Hideki Matsui, will have his first at bat in Yankee Stadium. No score, Yankees and the Twins.
Matsui.
Nice warm applause for Hideki Matsui as he digs in his first at bat in Yankee Stadium. Swing and a miss. Matsui has hit safely in his first 6 games as a Yankee. Still looking for his first home run. This game is being televised live in Tokyo. It's 5:30 in the morning there. And there's a ground ball to second base. Rivas. 1 away. How weird is this? The temperature in Tokyo is 55 degrees. The temperature in Minneapolis is 45 degrees, and here in the Bronx is 36. Who thought it would be warmer in Minneapolis?
Yeah, good point. That means that maybe we got warmer temperatures on the way here.
Could be.
And also remember this, that when Jim Cott was playing there, and then when we used to open up a lot of times with the Yankees in Minnesota, it used to be 25 degrees.
And they didn't play in that ugly Metrodome. They played outdoors.
Yeah.
Here's Jorge Posada. Line drive, base hit down the right field line. Cutting over is Kadire. He's going to play it in the corner. Posada will hustle into second with a stand-up one-out double.
Watching Posada early on in the spring and also starting off this year, he just looks like he's primed for a big year for the Yankees. He's in the best shape that he's ever been in. And I was talking to him, as I mentioned, before today's ball game, and I asked him about catching on a day like this, and he said, "You got to be kidding me. These are the kind of days you want to be behind the plate with all that equipment on."
Yeah, a little extra warmth.
And you don't wear down as quickly. So he's at second. Here's Ventura. Man, the pitch is high. No score. We're in the bottom of the second inning on a chilly day at Yankee Stadium, the home opener in the 100th anniversary season of the New York Yankees franchise. Began play in 1903. There's a hot shot. Nice stab there to the glove side by Rivas. 2 away. Moving to third is Jorge Posada. That had a little Olay quality to it.
That was some play. I mean, he didn't catch this ball. It caught him. You know, he just was moving to his left and put his glove down there, and bingo, look what I found. Good reactions.
Right field. Number 43.
And you can see the tail end of that play, the footing problems that the players can have today, particularly around that edge where the infield dirt meets the grass. A little softer there than the other areas.
Here's one of the hottest Yankees, Raul Mondesi. Hit .409 on the opening road trip and hustled every single ground ball, fly ball, base hit. There's a strike.
One of the things that we'll take a look at Gardenhire.
Well, the first thing Ron Gardenhire said this morning in his office, he's looking at the Yankee lineup. He said, "You kidding me? Raul Mondesi's hitting 8th? This is a pretty good lineup we're going up against." Just to see him 4th or 5th.
There's a hot shot off the glove of Koski and into left field. The Yankees are on the board. Mondesi makes a big turn. He'll head back to first. Probably be an RBI single. Definitely a run. Yankees lead 1-0.
One of the points I was going to make about Mondesi, he doesn't have that big hitch in his swing that he had last year. Mondesi, with the lowering of the hands, has allowed him to stay in that position without bringing the bat up, bringing the bat down, and then swinging it through the strike zone. All of that movement threw his timing off last year, and with the addition of Reggie talking to him, and they came to the conclusion, let's lower our hands a little bit and keep our hands moving through the strike zone. Get rid of that huge hitch that he had.
Here's Almonte. Foul back.
Yeah, the guy that had the hitch on that play was Corey Koski. I mean, third baseman, one of the things you hope a third baseman will do is give up his body and at least block the ball. But I think Koski said, "Man, that thing was hit like a rocket. I'll try to play it to the side of him."
He was a former goalie in Canada, and he should have tried a kick save. That was in junior hockey. They do score that a base hit, so Mondesi's first RBI, and the Yankees up 1-0. Yankees 55th run in their 56th inning. Run an inning, that's not bad. You'll win some games.
And if you can get some footing over there at first base, I think it's a great day for base stealers. Might take you a little longer to get your legs loose, but it is very, very difficult for the catcher to get a good grip on the ball, make an accurate throw.
The 0-2 to Almonte. He swings and misses. Foul tips it, actually. Held on to by Brzezinski, and that will do it here in the second inning. But the Yankees get on the board. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We play 2 at a frigid Yankee Stadium. It's the New York Yankees 1 and the Minnesota Twins 0. Those kids are going to tell the story of this game for the rest of their life. Yeah, it was freezing, and we sat there, and it was great. The Yankees got off to a 1-0 lead, and that's just the beginning of the story. We go to the third. Here's Michael Kadire. That one's driven out to right field. Going to be a tough play for Mondesi. Moves into the corner on the run. He makes the play for the first out of the inning. Outstanding play by Raul Mondesi.
Number 26.
It's probably the most dangerous part of the field today, Bobby. You can see the warning track with that drying agent on, footing a little tough out there.
Well, the warning track is a little bit softer than the field. The field's almost dry, the outfield and the infield, because they had that tarpaulin on to keep the snow away. And the outfield, what you see the warning track there, is soft and a little bit wet.
Here's Przinsky. Count 1-0. Inside out's the ball foul.
He cannot hit quite like Larry Walker yet, but when you look at Przinsky from that shot, I mean, he's a dead ringer for Larry Walker, the outstanding National League hitter. He's an all-star catcher, and yet the Twins' best player in their minor leagues is an up-and-coming phenom named Joe Mauer. And so here's Przinsky, who has been an all-star, and he could get replaced by a guy like Mauer, who say is one of the best catching prospects and baseball players to come along in a long, long time. #1 draft pick out of Minneapolis.
Line drive to center field. Bernie Williams right there. Doesn't have to move. 2 away. You know, Andy Pettitte is pitching in somewhat inclement weather today, but no big deal for him. He's gone through it before. Let's just go back to 1996. Yankee home opener. Andy Pettitte was on the mound. It started snowing after about 3 or 4 innings, and Andy Pettitte persevered, as the rest of the team did as well. And Andy Pettitte got the victory in that game. Santa Claus was there, the whole deal.
And the umpire in short sleeves.
Rivas looks at a pitch low.
That may have been a sign, Jimmy and Michael, because 1996 is when this dynasty started, and 7 years later they have 4 world championships.
Well, Santa's back. He shaved the
That's
beard.
a semi-Santa.
Hot shot to first. Knocked down by Nick Johnson. He'll take it himself. A 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettitte, who has faced the minimum 9 over the first 3. A double play in the first inning made it 1-2-3 as well. We played 2.5 at Yankee Stadium. It's the Yankees 1 and the Minnesota Twins 0. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The water bottle tells it all. It feels like 29 degrees at Yankee Stadium. And Alfonso Soriano leads off.
In this world of high tech, Bobby, those hot water bottles are the most valuable commodities today for pitchers in particular. Keep those hands warm.
Looped out down the right field line. Fair ball. It's trouble. That is a foul ball into the seats.
I used to have my own hot water bottle. I bought it, put my name on it, and it was only mine. I didn't want anybody else sharing it, especially on a cold day like this.
You had your own personal rocker, too.
Yeah, I did have that. You know, you see everybody bundled up on the Yankee in the Yankee dugout, also here in the stand, but you don't see Andy Pettitte there. Andy Pettitte goes down to the clubhouse. There is a sauna inside the Yankee clubhouse along where the shower area is, and he will go and sit in that sauna. You were talking about it earlier about the elbow stiffening up. Well, it helps him. It helps him stay loose. It helps him stay warm, and he can even lose a little weight while he's in there.
You have to be some fan to be here today. And the 1-2 pitch. Line drive to left field. A base hit for Soriano. A very good at bat for the Yankees second baseman. So he's halfway to another multi-hit game.
Anybody remember what he hit in spring training? Reason I bring that up is because nobody cares. When I was talking with Ron Gartenhire, and he said, you know, our ball club was hitting well in spring training, but we can't hit now. I don't know what Soriano was hitting in spring training, but he sure got things going when the bell rang.
Nick Johnson steps in. Lee had a single to left and a stolen base in the first inning. Let's see if they run. Soriano has a big lead. Held there by Mankiewicz. There's a strike. Home plate umpire is Gary Cederstrom. Along with Jim Cott and Bobby Mercer on Michael Kay. This is the Yankee home opener on CBS2. Yankees got a run in the second inning. A double by Posada and then an RBI single by Raul Mondesi. Joe Mays for the Twins. Andy Pettitte for the Yankees. Yankees coming to the game at 5-1. The Twins are 3-3. Pitch is high. Last year, the Yankees and the Twins hooked up, And the Twins were a really good team. And then you look at the record last year and you scratch your head. Yankees were 6-0 against the Twins. Doesn't make sense. Now, in years before, when the Twins really struggled, you could understand that. But 6-0 last year, they handled the Twins beautifully. In fact, they were 29-7 against teams in the American League Central. That helped them get to the 103 win mark.
You see him paying attention to Soriano. And Bobby, if I'm Nick Johnson, I'd take a cut and pay to hit between these two guys. Can you imagine hitting behind Soriano and ahead of Giambi, how many fastballs you're going to get to hit, particularly with Soriano's speed?
Forget the fastballs, how many good pitches you're going to get the chance to hit at. And I think that's the reason Soriano gave Johnson the first strike before he takes off. The reason I say that is because that big hole between first and second, you might as well give a quality hitter. Look at this big hole right here. That is that's for Johnson to drive that ball through, and then if he doesn't do it after the first strike, you're on your own. Move down to second. Let him pick his pitch.
Just nut foul. The other day in Tampa Bay, Paul O'Neill was saying that Joe Torre lets you run on the pitch you want to run on. He said because it really hampers a runner when you have the sign you have to go now. He said, what if you don't get a good jump now? He said, you're going to end up getting thrown out. Joe Torre kind of gives you a green light in that sense. He might give you a red light, don't go in this at bat. But Soriano can go when Soriano wants to go. Ron Gardenhire in his second year as Twins manager. Managed his team to a Central Division title last year and an upset of the A's in the first round of the playoffs. Count levels at 2-2.
See, here's an example, and just for viewers, when we were saying you get a lot of fastballs to hit, people might be saying why. Well, if you're Joe Mays right now, you don't want to walk Nick Johnson with Giambi coming up, and catchers will call fastballs because the base stealers get such a good jump on the breaking ball. So your percentage of fastballs, if you're Nick Johnson, goes up markedly when you're hitting in that two-hole.
Isn't there also, though, you have to have added patience in that spot? You have to give Soriano a chance to steal as well, because sometimes with that patience you find yourself in a hole. Soriano last year, and career, should I say, stolen bases 86, caught 29 times. Not a great percentage. They'd like him to be better than that. There he goes. There's a ground ball to second base, bobbled by Rivas, but he recovers and tosses the ball to Mankiewicz one away. I think that Soriano crossing in front of Rivas blinded him.
And this is what Michael's talking about. Soriano jumps over the ball, and Rivas loses sight of it momentarily. Then it takes kind of a high hop, and he keeps his body in a position where he can keep the ball in front of him and get the sure out at first base.
Now the Twins have a little bit of a decision. They have first base open. Not that they'll intentionally walk Giambi, but it's hard to make that choice because the guy on deck is Bernie Williams. And there's a strike.
What it does, in my opinion, when you know you have first base open and you're Jason Giambi, you're gonna pretty much think that I know he's not going to groove one for me. I think he's going to try to make the best pitches he can on me, and if he doesn't get me out or get me to swing at something bad, then he'll take the chances with Bernie Williams and maybe the double play.
And Giambi is so patient, he is not going to extend his strike zone or expand it at all to swing.
That's a good point, and I was just going to bring up the fact that here is the hitter. Now, in his mind, he's up there thinking what I was saying, and you know, consequently, you may not be ready to hit that good pitch if he throws it in there because you're thinking he's not going to give you a good one.
That ball gets away from Przinsky, and moving to third is Soriano. So now the Yankees can score him with an out.
Like a breaking ball that Przinsky didn't get his body over. Couldn't quite get it over there. Now has trouble locating it. Well, if pitchers have been following the box scores right now, they know that Jason Giambi, by his own admission, he said, I've been the designated out in this lineup. It's the other guys that are I don't know if I'd want to walk in to get to Bernie Williams right now.
He's 1 for his last 12. You see his numbers career against Mays. But he does have 7 walks. Infield in. High pop-up. Coming in is Hunter. Not deep enough the tag, so Soriano stays put. 2 away.
Yeah, if you're thinking about walking anybody early in the game, and you know, for the first 3 innings, every base runner you put on, I think as a pitcher, you put yourself in a little more trouble. But I would be more apt if I'm Joe Mays right now to walk Bernie Williams if I fell behind and get at Matsui, a guy who hasn't seen a lot of him.
There's Matsui. He grounded to second in the second. And the pitch to Bernie. There's a strike. Bobby, ever wear anything like that in a cold day?
They didn't have anything like that when we played. Maybe a turtleneck. That's about all we had. And we had the bulky thermal underwear that we used to wear too. Today, these guys have this very sleek.
Oh yeah, spandex.
Spandex. So it's not cumbersome. It's not bothersome. And it keeps you warm.
You would have looked good in spandex. It's a compliment. What?
Can you believe he brings something up like that? And he looked straight at me too when he said that.
Soriano leads off third with 2 outs.
You're taking it a little bit too far, Michael.
Meant as a compliment.
No,
really.
I'm just kidding.
You got to run with that. 1-0 Yankees. Bottom of the third. The home opener here at Yankee Stadium. The first of 81 in the Bronx. Hey, Kitty, they're
Yes.
allowed to blow on their hands, right?
Yeah.
Isn't a day like this an easy day to load up the ball? I mean, you could spit in your hands when your hand's up there.
Well, they watch closely from the corners, the first and third base umpire. You blow in your hands, that's it. Here's that situation where, see, he expectorated on the ground and he blew with his hand.
And that expectoration could be freezing on your fingers too, so it makes it really slippery.
3-1. Broken back ground ball to first. Mankiewicz fields. He'll beat Bernie to the bag, and that'll do it for the Yankees in the third inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We play 3 in the home opener at Yankee Stadium. As the New York Yankees won, the Twins nothing. Well, it's time to take a look back at a great moment in Yankee history. On April 18, 1923, Yankee Stadium opened with a 4-1 win for the Yankees over the Boston Red Sox before a reported crowd of 74,200. And Babe Ruth hit the stadium's first home run. Shock Jones leads off, and the pitch is high. Kitty, what was that day like? Was it cold?
Yeah, it was. Not quite as cold as today.
How far did that home run go, kids?
Yeah, we're hit a hanging curve.
That is driven out to left field, giving chase is Matsui on the run. He's not going to get there. It's over his head and up against the wall. Jock Jones will be at second with a leadoff double here in the 4th inning. He gave it a ride.
Talented outfielders these Twins have, and Jones is one of them. That ball's a home run in the Metrodome already. His 4th double of the season. Well off the plate. And that breaking ball, as you see Posada reach back in, caught too much of the plate. That pitch designed to go low and away.
Christian Guzman.
Here's Guzman. He will follow up, and you see the ball go over Matsui's head. He really didn't have a chance. Guzman has a choice now. Hit the ball to the right side, or will Gardenhire ask him to bunt? More conventional sacrifice. He swings away, or at least he was set to, and there's a strike.
Well, we all know that Matsui played center field in Japan. Playing here at Yankee Stadium, you know, one of the toughest fields to play here is left field, and he will pay close attention to Lee Mazzilli in the Yankee dugout as he tries to place him correctly defensively in the outfield. One of the toughest things to do when you have a big outfield. Like Yankee Stadium, do you play too close? Do you play too deep? Do you leave a big gap between you and Bernie? And Mazzilli will, at least for the first part of it, he will be positioning Matsui out in the outfield. See him, he's moving now. They've told him to move over just a little bit more towards Bernie.
Petted out of the stretch, and the 0-2. Swung and a miss. He struck him out. Surprising they did not have Guzman bunt there. 1 away.
Well, he must have felt like that Guzman was going to be able to at least hit the ball to the right side, and if he didn't get a base hit, he's going to move the runner up from second. But he didn't get the job
Third
done.
baseman,
They've had a lot of trouble scoring runs, 20 runs in 6 games. And coming into this game, they had a 152 batting average with runners in scoring position. Koski fouls it back. Yankees got their run in the second inning, a double by Posada, 1 out later. Raul Mondesi ripped one past Corey Koski for an RBI single. That's it. Pettit against Mays with a pitcher's duel. There's the defensive alignment.
Pretty much straight away, huh? Especially in the outfield.
Joe Torre was saying before Sunday's game that the Yankee hitters did so well on the road trip because it was not your typical beginning of the season. The hitters were comfortable. All the games were indoors. He said usually this time pitchers are ahead of the hitters, and that's one of the reasons hitters don't like to hit in this sort of weather.
I think the other reason you have to look at is that in the East Division, there's not a lot of competition for the Yankees. I mean, maybe Toronto will surprise a bit, but now when you start playing Minnesota and Seattle and teams like that, they're much tougher opposition than Tampa Bay and Toronto are going to be.
Jeff Weaver from Southern California has to bundle up against the weather. Swing and miss.
I'm just amazed that Andy Pettit, here he is from Texas. He didn't pitch in this cold weather as a kid. To have that kind of a breaking ball, I mean, I can just imagine trying to grip the curveball in the old days in Minnesota. It is not that easy. And he's had not just an average one, he's had a great one.
And to add to that is, I think that also Andy Pettit's a good sign that Andy Pettit's elbow is pretty healthy at this stage of the game.
Well, he was brilliant in his first game, 7 shutout innings against the Toronto Blue Jays.
Mel Stottlemyre in spring training devised a plan for Andy Pettit, and they got together early on and said, look, let's try to not to have any setbacks this year. We had a couple of setbacks last year because we started throwing real hard in the beginning. We threw a lot of breaking balls, a lot of cutters. Let's don't throw any of that. Let's just take it nice, slow, and easy. And when we get towards the end of spring training, maybe towards the last start or the second to last start, then we can start throwing the cutter. And I think that's made a world of difference in Pettit.
And the 3-2. A little bit low, so Koski walks. That puts runners on first and second with 1 out, and Torrey Hunter comes to the plate.
Yeah, there's some walks that are good and others are, very seldom are walks any good, but sometimes with the base open, but in that particular case, not. You walk Koski, a left-hand hitter, to get to a guy like Torrey Hunter, who you know is not going to hit a $143 all year.
He popped out the Soriano in the second, so he's 0 for 1. And the pitch low and inside. Torrey Hunter is a legitimate star. You see his year by year. Last year he just broke out. An all-star, 289, 29 homers, 94 runs batted in, and that led to that contract extension over the winter. And he's an outstanding center fielder. Line drive to left field. That is going to be a base hit. Cutting over is Matsui. He cuts it off in the gap. Nice play. 1 run will score. Koski goes to third. Moving to second is Torrey Hunter with an RBI double. This game is tied at 1. And they are giving a nice hand to Matsui for that defensive play. He saved a run.
Well, the way I look at it, he saved 2 runs simply because it may be 3 runs, because that run is going to score from first base. And no doubt that Torrey Hunter would have ended up at third. That would have been a triple for him, and maybe even an inside the park home run. Nice hustling play by Matsui as he continues to try to get comfortable in Yankee Stadium left field. That's what they try to teach you, is to get over as fast as you can and cut it off from going to the gap. You only do that because you get a good jump off the bat.
Took a rough hop, and he really had to reach up and away to come down with it. Yankees play the infield back. They'll give up the go-ahead run. And the pitch to Matthew LeCroy is a strike, 0-2.
Matthew looks like a designated hitter. Played his college ball at Clemson. Right now, I think Willie Randolph, as you see the hand gesture, alerting Almonte and Robin Ventura. If he flips the hands over and grounds it out, be ready to come home.
The 0-2, a little bit low.
I often wondered what Smokey Burgess would have done as a designated hitter.
Yeah. Smokey Burgess, Bobby's talking about one of the great pinch hitters in baseball several decades ago.
Two. Missed outside. First base is open. On deck is Doug Mankiewicz, a lefty batter. In this situation, second and third, infield back, one out. Are you thinking strikeout? Are you trying to get a strikeout?
You're thinking about making a good pitch here. This pitch could be anything to the hitter. It's going to be what he thinks he can get him out on.
3-2. Hit sharply to third. Let's see if they come home. Ventura does, and the play is in time. They got a nice tag by Posada. Beautiful throw by Ventura, 2 away.
Well, that's what Willie Randolph was talking about. If he turns that over and the runner goes, and Posada had to reach a little bit for it. Actually, one of those neighborhood plays, Bobby. If the ball's in the neighborhood of the plate before the runner gets there, he's out. I think if you're able to slow it down, the runner actually touched home plate before Posada tagged him. Here's Koski barreling down.
Got him on the ankle.
Yeah. Looked like maybe that lead foot might have caught the plate.
There's a strike to Mankiewicz. Torrey Hunter stayed at second, did not advance to third on that. Little odd.
Yes, it is.
That throw comes home. He has to make him dart for third. LeCroy reaches it first. Another strike, 0-2.
Another look at the plate. Yeah, he got him. Got him on the lead foot.
Good call by Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpire. See on the right shoulder of the chest guard, Jorge Posada paying tribute to Derek Jeter, his buddy who's on the DL. And the 0-2. Grounded to second. He will get out of it. That'll do it. So Andy Pettitte only gives up one. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's a 1-1 game. Bottom of the 4th inning, Hideki Matsui strides to the plate. Gets another nice hand from the fans here at Yankee Stadium. Matsui grounded to second. That was in the second, his first stadium at bat. Now, Matsui has seen a game here at Yankee Stadium. He picked a good one as well, 1999. And take a look at his play in the outfield in the previous inning that got the crowd on its feet. But Matsui actually bought a ticket to the 1999 Yankees-Red Sox Game 2 at Yankee Stadium. And in that game, he remembers Paul O'Neill getting the winning hit, so he remembered a lot about the game. And then in January, when he signed his contract, he was here to take some pictures. And the stadium was empty, a lot different than it is today, although it's probably warmer in January than it is right now.
Probably.
He has hit safely in every game as a Yankee, 6 straight. Count levels at 2-2.
And I'm sure everybody's thinking about, well, he hit 50 home runs in Japan last year. Where's the first home run here as a Yankee? And, of course, the Yankees have broken out in their home run chase this year with lots of home runs. He's still looking for his first home run. But if you take a look at Matsui's swing, and we've talked about it quite often here on the broadcast, he's got more of a level swing. He's got more one of those types of swings that he hits line drive, more of a gap type swing. He doesn't have that lift, you know, that you normally see from these home run hitters.
They worked out a walk there. Good at bat against Mays, so he's on to lead off the inning, and that'll bring up Posada.
This is how Joe Mays went at Hideki Matsui. Breaking ball, pretty close, but that was a ball. That's a ball, 2-0. He's had good movement away from him to run the count to 2. Boy, those are very, very close pitches, and then on the full count pitch, that one is not close, and he works out a walk.
Posada doubled in the second inning, scored the Yankees' only run, and the first pitch is a strike.
Well, the strong suit for the Minnesota Twins has been their starting pitching, as you well know, Kitty. And but Eric Milton is out, and he could be out until maybe August or September this year. The fine left-hander, former New York Yankee.
The 0-1 outside.
We're talking about Matsui, Bobby, and when is he going to hit his first home run, or where is it going to be? There's a guy they call Wrench, Dan Gladden. He was some kind of tough player. He does the Twins radio work, and he actually played alongside of Hideki Matsui in Japan when Matsui was a rookie, just out of high school. And he said the amazing thing in looking at him when he saw him in spring training, he said he looked like the same player when he came out of high school that he does right now. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but most of the stadiums he played for in Japan were a lot smaller than Yankee Stadium.
And that was Gladden.
Yes.
Didn't look like him.
Looked like a linebacker. Played like a linebacker. Well, he said the stadium they played at in Japan, where he and Hideki Matsui played, was called the Egg, and it was a dome very much like the Metrodome, which is a lot easier to hit home runs than it is in Yankee Stadium.
Matsui leads off first. Swing and a miss. There's that change, and Posada way out in front.
That's the reason I didn't think it was Gladden, but I looked over. It looked like he had the dark hair.
Here's Ventura. Hit deep to right field. Going back to Dyer. Looking up. See ya! A 2-run home run for Robin Ventura, and the Yankees lead 3-1.
Well, you talked about Mondesi hitting 8th in his lineup. How about Ventura? He hit 7th in the lineup. That's his 3rd home run of the year. As the Yankees keep pounding these home runs early in the season. First pitch from Mays, he liked what he saw. And the Yankees are in the lead.
That's the international language of hitting.
Yeah, those high sinkers go a long way. and Joe Mays actually has more success against lefties than righties, but not with that pitch.
Count 1-2 on Mondesi.
Ah, there's the old hot water bottle. That's your reward for hitting a home run. The applause is nice on a day like this, but it's a hot water bottle that really gets you going.
It is amazing how much has changed in this game, but they had hot water bottles in the 30s.
I think that bottle came from the 30s.
Two-two, just missed. Swing and a miss, took something off that, and Mondesi way out in front, 2 away.
Let's see what Joe Mays struck him out with. And actually, it was a fastball that moved back in. He has an outstanding sinker, and this is what it looks like if you're the catcher or the umpire. See that hand kind of turn over, almost like a screwball, and the ball moving back over the outside corner.
Here's Almonte. And there's a strike.
And that pitch is probably why Joe Mays has had a little trouble with his elbow. You can see all the strain it put on the elbow when he let that go.
Ground ball up the middle. Rivas backhands, off balance, throw, stretch by Mankiewicz. He got him. Beautiful defensive play by the Twins to get Almonte for the final out. But the Yankees take the lead. 2 runs on 1 hit. No errors, nobody left. That 1 hit off the bat of Robin Ventura. Long home run to right field, his 3rd home run of the year. Yankees lead 3-1. Top of the 5th inning, Michael Kadire leads off. And the 0-1 from Pettit. Swung and a miss. Did he go with the change there?
It looked like a cutter or breaking ball, but you can see how quickly Andy is working. Not much time between pitches. Doesn't want to keep his fielders out there in this cold weather. And it's always a good idea anyway. Work fast, throw strikes. And Andy went through a little period of time a few years ago where his motion got very, very methodical, almost a little on the lethargic side. Not anymore.
Just missed outside. You count 2-2. Top of the 5th inning. Yankees lead 3-1. Lee Mazzilli all bundled up. I am amazed, though, at Almonte. Of every single player in this ballgame, he is the only one without a long-sleeve shirt under his uniform. I don't get it. I understand that you're warmer when you're out there playing, but he's got to be freezing. We'll test him right now. 1 away.
Yeah, maybe he played for the Vikings when Bud Grant was coaching. He didn't allow any heaters or anything like that on the bench. I love pitching in cold weather with shirt sleeves. I mean, it made you free and easy, and it kept you moving. And like I said, I think it's just the time between innings. That, we're colder up here right now than they are on the field.
Well, how come everybody else has the long sleeve shirts except for him?
Well, that's, maybe he's
Preference.
Yeah, he's had a couple of hits, right? So maybe he's superstitious.
Here's A.J. Przinsky. Broken back ground ball. Charging is Almonte. He bobbles the ball. That should be an E6. We'll see how they score it. It is an E6, and that's the 3rd error by Almonte. And the one thing the Yankees want from him, forget about the hitting. We just want you to field the ball until Derek Jeter comes back. And that's not a great sign right there. 3rd error so far.
Well, all he has to do is get out some video of Derek Jeter, because this is Derek Jeter's signature move, signature play. Nobody makes that play as well as Derek Jeter does. And that's what you see Eric Almonte see, try to field it off the right side and catch it, throw it. Nothing wrong with the approach, just didn't catch the ball.
I'm not so sure that the ball didn't catch the edge of the grass, too. If as the grass and the dirt meet, may have just sent the ball underneath his glove. Maybe he thought it was going to come up, but you're right. Derek makes that play as good as anybody I've seen.
Here's Luis Rivas.
And the way, and the reason we say that is from an authority like Don Zimmer. Is Zim, who's seen a lot of shortstops, picked up on that in Derek's 2nd year. He said, I've never seen any shortstop make that play as well as Derek Jeter. That little slow hopper. To the cutter or the curve.
And the 2-0.
To the cutter or the curve.
And the 2-0. Grounded. Nice stop there by Ventura. He goes to second one. On the first double play. Around the horn. Started beautifully by Robin Ventura. Flashing some of the gold from 6 gold gloves to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error. And because of the double play, nobody left on base. At the end of 4.5, we're halfway through. The Yankees 3 and the Twins 1.
The Yankees started their half of the 5th with Soriano grounding out and Johnson singling to left. Giambi was up next with 1 on, 1 out. The Yankees leading the Twins 3-1.
This is the home opener at Yankee Stadium. It was snowed out yesterday. 5 inches of snow blanketed the New York area. Line drive, base hit by Jason Giambi to left center field. Nick Johnson's going to go for third. Hunter comes up throwing. The throw is wide. That allows Giambi to go to second. Bad play by Torrey Hunter. Yankees are set up.
Well, the all-star on this ball club defensively is Torrey Hunter in center field. They represented Minnesota. They've got two of the best outfielders in all of baseball. Jock Jones in left field, Torrey Hunter in center field. This could have something to do with the cold weather today. He comes up with it. Slippery fingers. He's been standing out there and he throws it wide. And Johnson, with that move going from first to third, maybe made him hurry the throw too. So you got to give Johnson a lot of credit.
Well, they're going to intentionally walk Bernie Williams to load the bases to pitch to Hideki Matsui.
Couldn't this be a moment in Yankee history? The base is loaded. Back to that play quickly. Great base running by Nick Johnson, forcing the throw. And you're right, it's very difficult to get a good grip on the ball, as you know from playing the outfield in cold weather. Well, this guy with his rock star persona would not be surprising to see him do something special right now with the bases loaded.
And listen to the crowd for Hideki Matsui. They have received Matsui very warmly on this cold opening day at Yankee Stadium. And now he comes up with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 5th inning. Nick Johnson's at third, Giambi's at second. Bernie Williams intentionally walked is at first, and here's Matsui 0 for 1. A walk and a run scored and a nice defensive play in left center field. The crowd chanting Matsui. There's a strike.
Well, the one thing that Joe wanted Matsui to do is not to try to do too much. I mean, he was getting all this big buildup here in America after hitting the 50 home runs. He wanted him to just try to relax, play ball, and not try to do a whole lot. Not try to overdo it for one thing.
Despite his experience in Japan, you would think that his heart is beating through his chest right now. Excitement surging through him. Anticipation, the challenge of having the bases intentionally walked to face you. Two and one. .55, 50 home runs last year in Japan. 3-time MVP. Nubs it foul up the third baseline. Count is level at 2-2.
May not have seen a pitcher in Japan with this kind of movement on it. I mean, Joe Mays has tremendous movement on his fastball. You can see him kind of pulling off the ball. And one of Matsui's strengths is to go the other way. And that's what a pitcher like Mays is going to force him to do, is take the ball toward left center, not try to pull it.
You know, Jim, from what I remember early when we started up at Toronto, the Yankees opening up there, he didn't pull away like he's been pulling away for the last 3 or 4 games. Maybe pulling away because he's trying to hit a home run. He was very solid at home plate and looking for the ball out over the middle in a way that he should try to take it the opposite way and not pulling off the ball.
And the 2-2. He has worked the count full. Well, Mays has to throw him a pitch over the plate, otherwise he walks in a run. Posada is on deck. Yankees lead 3-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Action in the Twins bullpen. That one's hit deep to right field. Going back, Kadire looking. home run, his first grand slam, his first curtain call. Think he has a flair for the dramatic? Posada pops one up. Shallow center field. Coming on is Hunter. 2 away.
And I tell you what, it's cold enough so you got goosebumps, but this just doubled him. Wow, this was some moment.
And you know what? I think it's his first intentional walk to get the Matsui.
That'll be his last.
How many times did they do that in Japan?
You know, guys, you don't become great by accident. He had greatness in Japan, and greatness means that you come up big in big situations, and the stage is set, the tableau is perfect, and here he hits a grand slam after he intentionally walked a batter in front of him, his first game at Yankee Stadium, and it really doesn't get more dramatic than that. There's a fly ball to left center field. Coming on is Jones. He'll put it away, and that will do it. But not before the Yankees score 4 runs on 3 hits. And the big blow, a grand slam by Hideki Matsui. What a way to break in. Yankees lead 7-1. Well, they are not going to need any coffee in Japan. At 6:52 in the morning on Wednesday, this is what they saw. A grand slam by their king, Hideki Matsui, and all of Japan watching that swing.
Coffee in all the coffee shops in Japan. They don't have any coffee anymore. They spilled it as they came up out of their seat. Well, that grand slam, it's all over the floor right now.
There's Jock Jones. Inside when Matsui took left field, he got a hero's welcome by the people out in those seats. Listen up. Count 1-1. What a feeling. What a moment.
I tell you, one of my favorite parts of that whole scenario was that when he hit it, it's like, hey, I've done this before. You didn't see any fist pumping or any surprise. He said, I've done this before. No big deal.
Ichiro really burst on the scene. Rookie of the Year, MVP. Just did a great job for the Mariners. And everything you hear about Matsui is that Matsui is a better player than Ichiro. Now, the Yankees can only hope because Ichiro has really made an impact in the American League. But if he's better than Ichiro was in Japan, maybe it translates that he's better than him here.
I don't know that he's going to be better than Ichiro. They say Ichiro with power. To me, Ichiro's the best outfield in the American League. And whether Matsui's going to be in that class, I don't know, but he has more power than Ichiro.
Well, they're two different type hitters, for one thing. Power hitter is Matsui. Ichiro's not a power hitter. He uses his speed to get on base and to hit for a high average. I mean, Ichiro is one of those guys that slaps the ball down and beats the ball out at first base. If Ichiro wanted to hit the ball out of the ballpark, I think he certainly has the power to do that. But two different type of hitters.
Well, we mentioned at the start of the game that Matsui legitimately parallel to Jordan here in this country what he is in Japan. An absolute mega superstar. That pitch is outside, so Jones walks. And you know, we were kidding lightly, but opening night when the Yankees opened in Toronto, an 8 o'clock start meant it was 9 in the morning in Japan, and 10 million people watched that game. 10 million people. And every single one of those cameras out of the camera box on the first base side is pointed toward left field. They don't care about the rest of the game. They are chronicling every single move that Hideki Matsui makes. And wouldn't you agree, guys, with that one swing he did better than the other Yankee Hideki?
Well, I tell you what, with that one swing, he did what it took Jason Giambi about a month to do last year when he hit his famous grand slam through the raindrops.
I would be surprised if that other Hideki didn't see that grand slam in Japan.
He is back in Japan, Bob.
Yes,
He's playing in the
is.
Japanese league. He might have. But knowing that Hideki, he's not up at 6:30 in the morning.
He may be.
So the Yankees lead 7-1. Forget about the dramatics of the home run. It means a lot in the outcome of the game. Gives Andy Pettitte some breathing room. He has a 6-run lead here in the top of the 6th inning on a very cold day at Yankee Stadium.
Now Andy Pettitte losing a little bit of his command. 11 pitches this inning, only 3 strikes. Boy, after your team has put 4 on the board, that next inning, your goal usually is to be as aggressive as you can, throw strikes, and make the other team put the ball in play.
He's thrown 76 pitches so far. A little bit low now. Let me ask you a question. With the excitement of that moment, can that unnerve a pitcher? Not in a bad way. But
no, I don't think it has anything to do with unnerving him, but because the Yankees were at the plate for a while, it might just be that time in the game when Andy Pettitte's arm is stiffening up a little bit because of the weather. And you'll see Joe Torre with Mel going to the mound making the call right now. This has been the pattern of the Yankees game so far. They get a lot of runs. The starting pitchers give them 5 or 6, and this will probably be no different as to how effective will the bullpen be when they come in.
Well, Mel Stoudemire has his say. There's some stirring in the Yankee bullpen right now. Sterling Hitchcock is the only Yankee without a warm-up on. Now a right-hander starts to throw on the lower level of the Yankee bullpen. Here's Corey Koski with runners on first and second. Nobody out. Grounded foul.
Well, we're talking about the most pickoffs since 1995. That other weapon that Andy Pettitte has. 67, and Kenny Rogers, who has joined now the Minnesota Twins this year as a free agent, with 48. Well, we get a chance to see Rogers, I don't think, in this 3-game series.
No.
Fouled away. Well, tomorrow's starter is Kyle Loesch, and after that, Rick Reed. So we will see those two for the Twins.
Twins signed Kenny Rogers as some insurance because they're not optimistic about Eric Milton being back at all this season. There's some possibility he might get back in September for a few games, but they have Kenny Rogers. They're hoping he'll be a little insurance policy with Milton missing.
79 pitches for Pettitte, 48 strikes, 31 balls. He usually has a better ratio than that. And the 0-2. Grounded softly to second. They have one play, and he makes it at second for the first out of the inning. So he gets the lead runner, at least on the first base situation. Now runners on the corners with 1 out. Here's Torrey Hunter. Driven deep to center field. Going back, Bernie Williams. Still back, still back, still back. Reaches up and he makes the play. Oh, what a play by Bernie Williams. Tagging is Jones. He'll score. A long sac fly for Torrey Hunter. And the Yankee lead is now 7-2.
Andy Pettitte will take that trade, Bobby.
How many times do walks come around and score for you or against you? We saw Bernie has made many fine plays already early in this year, besides having the great start offensively. Gold Glover, 3-time Gold Glover for the Yankees in center field. Matsui will watch Bernie in the outfield. He'll learn a whole lot.
Here's Matthew LeCroy, and the first pitch is a strike. That pitch gets away from Posada. Looks like he was crossed up. That could be a pass ball. Moving to second is Corey Koski. And that's how it scored. Pass ball.
Might be getting to that time in the game where Andy Pettitte, let's see, was this supposed to be a cutter and it moved back away from him? You know, each inning in weather like this, your arm, it gets a little tight. Almost feels like it's getting shorter. It gets a little tighter. That actually looked like it had cutter spin, but it backed up, and I think that's what fooled Posada, and I would expect this would be Andy's last inning.
Now, is the fatigue exacerbated because of the cold?
I don't think it's the fatigue. I think it's just the inability to grip the ball as well, and the fact that your arm just is not as loose and flexible as it was at the start of the game.
And the 1-2. Grounded up the middle. Almonte dives. He can't get there. That's an RBI single. Coming around to score is Koski. So LeCroy with a single, and the Twins still in this one. Yankees lead 7-3.
First baseman, Bud.
Well, I thought when the ball came off the bat that it was a very catchable play up the middle, and maybe Almonte just didn't get a good jump on it. He may have been playing a little bit deeper in the hole at short. Nevertheless, it was placed perfectly, and it ended up as an RBI single.
Bell's trying to nurse Andy through this inning, and then he'll go to the bullpen for the final 3. Yankee bullpen has been a little shaky over the first week. Here's Doug Mankiewicz. That one's hit deep to right field, but foul. A little bit too quick. The count 0-1. And the 0-1. There's a strike. Along with Jim Cott and Bobby Mercer, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on CBS 2. It's the home opener of the 100th anniversary season of the Yankees. Yankees lead 7-3. The most dramatic moment in this game, a grand slam by that man, Hideki Matsui. That was line to center field. Bernie Williams coming, still coming. He can't get there. He'll have to play it on a hop. So a base hit for Mankiewicz as LeCroy moves to second. See how long Joe goes with Andy Pettitte.
Well, again, we mentioned the Twins have a surplus of good outfielders. This is not hit particularly well, but right in front of Bernie. So if Joe were to make a move right now, and he's going to, the Twins have Bobby Kielty on their bench, who's an outstanding hitter from the left side.
Well, this is the second trip to the mound. Mel took one, so Joe obviously is going to hook Andy and bring in Antonio Osuna. Andy will get a nice hand. He leaves the Yankees in a little bit of a precarious position, though. First and second with 2 outs. Listen to the hand from the Yankee Stadium crowd. After the dramatics of the Hideki Matsui home run, it seemed like the rest of the game was somewhat anticlimactic, but the Twins are not allowing it to be. They strike against Andy Pettitte for 2 runs in the 6th inning, threatening for more, and Joe Torre brings in Antonio Osuna.
Well, Michael, you know, the bullpen for the Yankees got to be a little bit of a concern right now, simply because of Mariano Rivera not being here. Carsey is not coming along like they would hope he would do. Osuna, Acevedo, everybody in the bullpen kind of pitching out of you know, what Joe Torre had set and designed it to be. Osuna and Acevedo and the rest of the crew down there just seem like that they're just not really comfortable yet. He had 11 saves for the Chicago White Sox last year, so obviously he's got the stuff to do it. We'll hope he does it here.
Here's a pitch to Kadire, and it's off the glove of Posada, and that will allow the runners to move up. That'll be another pass ball for Posada, because that ball was eminently catchable. I don't know if he was crossed up, but he's going and talking with Osuna now.
Let's watch Posada's glove. No, I don't think it was crossed up. I think it's called a wild pitch. I just think it's one of those where a catcher thinks, well, this guy's a low ball pitcher. The ball's going to be down around the knees, and it took off up and in.
Bill Shannon, the official scorer here at the stadium today, scores that a wild pitch, somewhat questionable. The 1-0, foul back. Jim, as a pitcher, do you think that was a wild pitch?
Well, most of the time if it hits the dirt, right, it is. But no, I wouldn't think that was a wild pitch. I just think it was a late reaction by Posada.
A single now makes it 7-5. 1-1. Missed outside.
Strike zone has been a little tight all day today.
Gary Cederstrom behind the plate as Andy will watch the end of the inning from the bench. Swing and a miss in the count, 2-2.
Kadire 0 for 2 today. He's hitting only 188, looking for his first home run, but he was a 20-plus home run guy in the minor leagues. And the Twins needing that power from the right side gives Kadire a chance to play.
Count goes full at 3-2. That one just missed.
I think it also says something about Gardenhire and how he wants to use Kadire. I mean, he has all the tools over on the bench if he wanted to make a move here, but felt like it wasn't the right time.
There's an example of that close pitch. Posada caught it low, but from a side angle, I'll guarantee you that pitch was across the knees.
Swung on a miss. He struck him out. Pitch diving down and away. So Osuna comes on and gets out of further trouble. Well, for the Twins, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left after 5 1/2. 7-3 Yankees lead.
The Twins brought in Tony Fiore to relieve Joe Mays to start the 6th. The right-hander retired the side in order. In the top of the 7th, the Yankees still led 7-3.
Go to the top of the 7th inning. Chilly Yankee Stadium for the home opener. Yankees lead 7-3. A.J. Przinsky will lead off against Antonio Osuna, who came on to get the final out of the 6th inning in relief of Andy Pettitte. And there's a strike.
You being kind with that chili, Michael. It's downright cold.
You're
Raw.
right. It's
raw.
Artie fans. Fouled away. 3-5-1 for the Twins, 7-8-1 for the Yankees. Highlight Matsui, a grand slam in the 5th, his first major league home run. Kind of dwarfs Robin Ventura's 2-run home run. And the starters Mays and Pettitte. And Pettitte got into the 6th. Mays went 5 innings and then he was done. They are both right now the pitchers of record, and he is the star of record, Hideki Matsui. Lost amidst the excitement of the home run. He has now hit safely in all 7 games as a Yankee, so he picks up his base hits. His debut could not have gone better. That kid could say, I was there.
Good day for a sucker, I tell you that.
1-2. Foul back. Brzezinski's 0 for 2. He flied to center and reached on an E6 by Eric Almonte. Still 1-2.
I thought they cut those pads down. That pad on Brzezinski's right arm looks pretty big. Like almost a shin guard.
You know, Bobby, you hear all these proclamations what they're going to do. They're not going to allow the players to wear pants low.
Yeah.
That's not has not been enforced at all. The arm, the elbow guard, that hasn't been enforced. The one thing that they have been doing, though, is the umpires are keeping it tight between innings. They're not letting it go much further than it's supposed to. And that's speeding up the game just a bit. But all these other proclamations, they don't enforce them.
Every year in spring training, the umpires go around directed by Major League Baseball. It used to be the league office, and now it's the commissioner's office. And there's always a number. Hey, we're going to call a lot of balks this year. You got to step to first base. Hey, we're going to call the low strike this year. You know, anything around the knees now. And the season starts, same old, same old. I mean, particularly today with the knee-high strike, there have been a ton of them. They haven't been called.
And another thing they said they were going to do this year, you can't step out. We just saw Przinsky step out. The pitchers have to throw the ball within 20 seconds. None of this is being enforced. It's like a waste of breath. 2-2. Just missed.
Yeah.
So Osuna thought he had that one.
Wow. Actually, I think it's 12 seconds this year the pitcher has to deliver the ball. Here's the pitch from Osuna. Now, I don't know where that was. I mean, it wasn't low. So if it was outside, it was a ball, but it certainly wasn't low.
Bobby, Kitty would have had no problem with that 12-second rule, right?
Shoot, he would have a problem with 2 seconds. In fact, that's what his time was in between pitches, about 2 seconds.
Study long, you study wrong. If I thought more than that, I'd be in trouble.
3-2 pitch. Hanging in there is Przinsky. You know, it's amazing. You hear about these guys that play in Minneapolis.
Hey.
Look at you. Glad to be 4 all bundled up. You guys played in cold weather.
I'm wimpy. You're there. You got no hat on, you and Bobby, but that's what happens when you get old.
But you look good. That is a good one. Look at another Minnesota guy.
Wrench is going, man. He was pumped up today.
Right back to Osuna. Nice play. 1 away. Took a single away from Przinsky.
Well, Przinsky was mad. I mean, he battled Osuna, fouling good pitches away, and finally hit one up the middle. Osuna made a good play on him. Took the base hit away.
Excellent position. You see when Osuna square to the plate, in position to get his glove down and field that ball. Yeah, important innings, because even though the Yankees have scored a lot of runs and had big leads, the bullpen has been leaking a little oil there the last couple innings.
Rivas grounds one up the middle, moving to his left Almonte. 2-way. Good looking lid. Midnight blue with the white interlocking NY on the front. They're all over the stadium. Didn't even take the tag off. That's also very cool now. Did you know that, Bobby? It's a mini pearl look. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you wear the tag on the hat after you buy it.
I thought that was big in Tennessee. I didn't know it was big here in New York.
Oh, it's huge.
Plus, if you don't like it, you can return it.
Exactly. Oh, it had that sweat stain. I don't know.
You know what I saw a couple of weeks ago? I mean, I've seen the Yankee cap and a lot of caps in all kinds of different colors, but I actually saw a pink one with a white NY that a young lady was wearing.
Really?
Yes. Very stylish.
The interlocking NY, one of the most famous symbols in sports. The 0-2 is outside.
Osuna, relative, well, all the Yankee bullpen pitchers are newcomers this year. No one from last year is on the active roster. There's the 100th anniversary logo on the left side of the cap. Little light rain snow beginning to come down, but Osuna was a potential closer for years.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Antonio Osuna at the end of 6.5. Yankees 7 and the Twins 3. A raw Tuesday afternoon, now evening in New York City. The Yankees home opener. Yankees lead 7-3 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Santa's carrying strikeouts today. And the pitch from Tony Fiore is high to Nick Johnson. Andy Pettitte started for the Yankees. A lot of snow out in Monument Park. 5 inches fell yesterday, and the home opener was canceled and postponed until today yesterday. And the grounds crew did an unbelievable job working all night without a rest, and the field is in perfect condition. And you know what? Yankee Stadium is as well. Yankees lead 7-3. The big blow, Hideki Matsui's grand slam, his first Yankee home run.
I don't know of any ground crew anywhere in baseball that could have done what Dan Cunningham and his crew did here. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think after what I saw yesterday that they could play this game today. And you wouldn't even know that it even snowed yesterday around Yankee Stadium.
It really is amazing. They did an unbelievable job. Help from the people at Giant Stadium. They borrowed the Giant Stadium tarp, and that allowed them to cover the outfield. So the field is in outstanding condition. The 3-1 to Johnson is high. Bobby, do you know what happened 22 years ago today, this very inning on April 9th, 22 years ago today?
No.
The same thing is what happened with Hideki Matsui. Why don't we take a look?
And a high fly deep to right. Holy cow, a grand slam pitch hit home run.
Minding my own business, and the stick. Gene Michael says go up and hit with the bases loaded.
You did.
I did. Who knows what happened there? I don't know. Charlie Lau would have been happy with that. That's a one-handed release.
Yeah, there was a Minnesota connection there too, even though I think it was against Texas.
Yeah, it was against Texas.
But the pitcher Remember who you hit
I
it
think
on?
it was Coomer, wasn't it?
Steve Comer.
Steve Comer, that's right.
From Minnesota. Minnetonka, Minnesota pitcher.
Here's Jason Giambi. Hey, by the way, I want to say, Jim, you weren't there. Yankee welcome home dinner yesterday at the Sheraton, and Bobby Mercer received the Pride of the Yankee Award. And I got to tell you, it was one of the most beautiful speeches I have ever heard. People in the audience were tearing up. I know Bobby got choked up a little bit as well. Bobby, that was one of the most beautiful moments I've ever seen at that dinner in all the years I've been.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. It was a tremendous thrill for me. And I tell you what, to be in the presence of everybody that was there last night and to know the history of this organization, have been around here for so many years, and to be around the players and the coaches, Joe Torre and Mr. Steinbrenner was there along with his family. It was just an overwhelming experience for me. I mean, I was truly touched. And during the dinner, I mean, they raised $800,000 for great charities here in New York and the Yankee Foundation.
Well, congratulations on the award. It's well deserved.
Thank you very much.
That's foul back. Giambi today is 1 for 3. Flied to right, flied to center, singled to center, and scored a run. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Giambi down on strikes. 1 away. There's Bernie Williams. And the pitch to Bernie. There's a fly ball to center field. Converging Hunter and Jones. Jones makes the call on the catch, 2 away.
This is going to be a special moment right here.
Hideki Matsui.
It took him exactly 5 innings to become a fan favorite.
They're playing that Godzilla song.
If you joined us late, well, you missed a lot. In the 5th inning, they intentionally walked Bernie Williams to load the bases and get to Matsui. And Matsui on a 3-2 pitch hit a grand slam into the bleachers. His first Yankee home run. Those are other Yankees that their first home run happened to be a grand slam. There's a ground ball to second base. Rivas with a nice play. The long throw to first. Just got him.
Wow.
Matsui hustling down the line, but a nice play by Rivas just nailed him. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 7, Yankees 7 and the Twins 3. It's hard to have a home opener here at Yankee Stadium without thinking about George Herman Babe Ruth. Yankee Stadium opened on April 18th in 1923, and it was the house that Ruth built. And on that day, 74,200 people at Yankee Stadium. Yankees against the Red Sox, and Babe Ruth, it had to be him. He christened the stadium with a home run, and this man, bigger than life, really saved baseball through the Depression, put up these big home run numbers, and this is what he begot. Guzman slaps 1 foul.
I was going to say that Pete Sheehy, the long-standing clubhouse guy here, in fact, the clubhouse is named after Pete Sheehy, and he was always telling stories. He never wrote a book. I mean, he had more stories. He knew more about players than anybody that's ever come through this historical site here. But never wrote a book, took every story with him to his grave. But he did tell me about Babe, and he said, Miller Huggins. He said, I was only a young guy when I first started working here at Yankee Stadium. And he said, the Babe always told me, he said, look, young man, he said, I want my hot dog in the 2nd inning, and I want my hot dog in the 7th inning. He said, I'd get him a hot dog, he'd eat it really fast in the 2nd inning, and then I'd have a hot dog for him in the 7th inning. So one time Miller Huggins came to me, he said, look, Pete, what in the world are you doing? You know how this gives Babe agita, and I can't have the Babe with an upset stomach out there playing. And he said, if you ever give the Babe another hot dog, he said, you're out of here and you won't be back in here. So
Swing and a miss, and Guzman goes down on strikes.
So the next day, the Babe comes to him and said, Pete, I want my hot dog in the 2nd. He said, I can't. He said, Miller Huggins told me that I can't do it. He said he'll throw. He said, look, I don't care how you do it, but I want my hot dog. He said he had to have his hot dog in the 2nd inning, and he had to have his hot dog in the 7th inning, and then he had 2 bromos in between. He said it gave him the worst agita that you could.
So did Big Pete get him to him?
He's found a way to sneak it to the babe. Oh, yeah. And kept his job at the same time.
Superstitious. There's the plaque in memory of
wonderful
the late,
wonderful
great
man.
Pete Sheehy. Fun sitting down listening to his stories. Some of the Babe's hot dogs. Remember how Pete used to like to sneak up behind you, stick a ball in your pocket all the time?
Yeah. Or put a hanger on you.
Right. You put a hanger in your back pocket.
I know when I first came here, Pete left a little note in my locker. It said, Mr. Lion wants you to give him a call. You know, that was
called the zoo.
Called the zoo.
Yeah, they had all the tricks. I remember one where a player came in and it had a thing on his little slip of paper on his stool, phone message on his clubhouse stool. Call Mr. D.D.E.E. Mollish, M-O-L-L-I-S-H, for a personal appearance. He got like Joe's Body Shop or something. But that's the kind of tricks. I mean, Pete was wonderful to talk to, and you're right. Those the equipment managers that have been around for years, they could write books that would make ball 4 look like Ned in the first reader.
I mean, you know, Pete was here when Garrick was here, and Babe, and Joe D, and Mickey, and I mean, there just hasn't hardly been anybody that's come through this historical ground that Pete Sheehy didn't know.
And they are some of the most trusted individuals.
You can tell them anything, and they knew everything. But what was heard and said in the clubhouse stayed in the clubhouse.
3-2 is popped up left side. Let's see if it stays in play. Ventura near the seats. He leans in. He makes the play. 2 away.
I mentioned last inning that Osuna was a potential closer. When he came up with the Dodgers, there was all that talk about back in 1991. I mean, this guy had some impressive stats coming out of the minor leagues, like 60 innings and about 30 hits and more than a strikeout an inning, outstanding fastball and a changeup. But he has had injuries almost every year. Elbow problems.
Here's Torrey Hunter, and the pitch is high. He used to throw very fast.
Yeah. Still gets it up there, and then to left-hand hitters, he has that nice little turnover changeup that goes down and away.
Yeah, he kind of grips that. Mel was telling me he grips it a little unusual with only 2 fingers.
Driven out to right field, giving chase as Mondesi into the corner, and that'll go foul.
We've talked about how more difficult it is to catch a fly ball or a line drive on the corners in the outfield. It's much easier in center field, and this is one of the reasons, because that ball that was hit by Hunter, you saw how it kept moving away from Mondesi. It had that spin going away from him. When you're looking at it from center field, the ball that's normally hit to you is hit straight on. You don't get that little curving action that you get both from right and left field.
There's that fastball up and in, the count 2-1. Top of the 8th inning at the stadium. Yankees lead 7-3. Yankees won 5 out of 6 on their opening road trip, 3 in a row in Toronto, and then 2 out of 3 at Tampa Bay. And now the start of a fairly long homestand. Jason Anderson begins to warm.
Wow.
Joe Torre likes to do that. Get some of the butterflies out by putting the guy on the biggest stage. I don't know if Jason will be coming in a 7-3 game, though.
Yeah. Maybe he's just getting a little throwing in.
Osuna overthrows, and Torrey Hunter walks.
Osuna had 11 saves last year with the White Sox. That was his career high, and this is a little time-buying visit by Mel Stottlemyre to give Jason Anderson more time, and perhaps Contreras or Acevedo will join him.
Here's Matt LeCroy.
You know, Kitty, when I look at you, I see somebody else. I don't see you all bundled up like that.
There's a strike to LeCroy. Hammond joins Anderson.
I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way.
Even if you do, I can handle it.
How do you hear through the earphones through the hood?
Michael, I could hear you anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Loud and clear.
That's a beautiful Christmas story. The 0-1 is outside. It actually feels, and according to the temperature, it feels a little bit warmer than it did at the start, which you would figure since it goes into nighttime. But we started at 36. It's 37
You
now.
think it might be those heaters up above you?
Yeah, they were on before.
You're the only, I got stuck in the middle, and that's the only place there's not a heater. Thanks a lot.
High fly ball to left field. Matsui. And that'll do it in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning at Yankee Stadium. It's the Yankees 7 and the Twins 3. Again, an incredible job by the Yankee ground crew. This was early this morning as they were shoveling some of the snow off the warning track. And you look at the field right now, and as Bobby said before, you could not even tell that it snowed 5 inches yesterday.
Ground crew only had 1 hour's sleep from yesterday, from 5 a.m. to today. And they're still not through. They'll be working on this field late into the night tonight to get it ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, because the weather forecast for tomorrow is not too good. No snow, but maybe rain.
Here's Posada. And the pitch is high.
I called this morning just to check on the condition. I mean, because the Yankees wanted to call the game early if they weren't going to play, not inconvenience the fans.
That one's a fly ball to right field. Kadire is right there. 1 away. The crowd, by the way, that they didn't want to inconvenience was announced 33,109, and obviously because of the weather and the people that had tickets for opening day had planned on Monday, and maybe they couldn't get out of work today, so 33,109, which if you think about it is an incredible crowd under these conditions.
And the fans that have stuck it out, it's terrific. Yeah, when I called, they said, oh, the ground crew's been working all night to get the field dry.
My hat's off to the fans for sure. And the Yankee fans here in New York are the greatest fans in the world. They love their baseball. They know their baseball, and they know when a player in the pinstripes is doing their best.
I mentioned maybe some of the great hitting teams that you've been on in the past, and I think the impressive thing about this ball club early on, they are scoring a run per inning. This might be the year in the team that we see saying that you never have enough pitching.
That is fisted into left field, a base hit for Robin Ventura, his second of the day, had a 2-run home run, so he is 2 for 4.
That you can actually pitch average during the year and just outscore people. I mean, this team could average 8 or 9 runs a game. Of course, they haven't run into Pedro Martinez yet, or pitchers of that caliber.
I don't know. You look up and down this lineup, there's not an easy out in the lineup.
Well, as Ron Gardenhire, the Twins manager, said today, when you've got Mondesi, who is off to a great start and potentially a run producer, you know, here was a guy that he was traded for Sean Green.
Yeah.
He's a guy that was a number 4, number 3 or 5 hitter run producer. He's hitting 8th.
Well, you are right about that run and inning, Kitty. 61 runs in 61 and a third innings, and that's what the Yankees have done so far in their 6+ games. Here's Mondesi. Fouled that.
Just in case Joe wanted to make a move. I mean, he's got Todd Zeile.
Yeah.
He's got Enrique Wilson. He's got Flaherty on the bench. He's got Bubba Trammell that they picked up that gives him a good right-handed bat.
Chris Latham.
Chris Latham, a switch hitter.
Yori keeping it away from Mondesi. Mondesi drove in the Yankees' first run, a hot shot past Corey Koski in the second. He's 1 for 3. Rick Down, the hitting coach, loves that 1 run per inning average. There's a ground ball short. Let's see if it's 2. There's 1. Not in time. Mondesi, who has been hustling every single game on every single ground ball, beats out that relay throw.
Boy, and that's a great example of it, Michael, because Guzman and Rivas, they turned this double play as slick as you can. Let's check them out of the box. Quick release, nice pivot. And that hustling out of the box got him the call at first base. Very close.
Joe Torre said over the weekend in Tampa Bay, said, that doesn't surprise me. He said, you heard about things about Mondesi, maybe late for meetings or whatever. He said, every time I ever watched him play, he always hustled, and that was one of the reasons I was behind acquiring him. The hustle does not surprise me at all. He's always done that every single game I've ever seen him as an opponent. Mondesi leads off first. He goes, and the pitch is fouled back. Yankees starting the runner. A lot of motivation for Mondesi. He reads the papers. He watches Sports Center. He knows that over the winter he was at the center of a lot of trade talks. Did the Yankees want to get rid of him? Who would eat part of the salary? This and that. This is the last year of his contract, so Mondesi has plenty of incentive to do well.
He also was saying last year that this was going to be his last year. He didn't want to play. He was thinking about retiring, and now I noticed a couple of comments in spring training that, well, we'll just see what happens after the year is over with.
He goes again. Pitch is high. The throw to second is in plenty of time. Nice throw by A.J. Przinsky to nail Mondesi on a 2-4 caught stealing. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played 8 full innings at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Last licks for the Twins. Yankees lead 7-3 on the home opener. 5th inning, Hideki Matsui. His first hit here at Yankee Stadium, his first Major League home run, a grand slam, his first curtain call, and he became a Yankee with that swing. Shocking. I am a little bit shocked right now. Top of the 9th inning, Yankees only have a 4-run lead, and Joe Torre brings in Jason Anderson.
Yeah, this is a courageous move. He earned the spot in spring training with his ability to throw strikes. He came in opening night in Toronto. He still hasn't gotten anybody out in the major leagues.
Gave up 2 hits to the first 2 batters he faced, 2 singles. And that one's hit deep to right field. Going back Mondesi. He's on the track. He's at the wall. He makes the play leaning against the wall, and Anderson gets his first big league out.
Big sigh of relief right there.
It looked just like an out in the paper. We'll know that he drove the guy to the wall.
Well, he was ticketed to be the closer at Columbus, so certainly he has experience pitching in the 9th inning. A little different pitching in the 9th inning in the major leagues in Yankee Stadium, and this is
on opening day.
Yeah, just enough off the end of the bat to keep it in the ballpark.
Here's Michael Kadire, and he loses the bat and swings and misses.
I know Whitey Herzog loved when new players came up. He threw them right into the heat of battle where they're accustomed to playing, just see if they can perform. So a clean inning by Jason Anderson right here on opening day in the 9th inning can do a lot for his confidence.
Joe likes to do that too.
Well, he pitched on the opener in Toronto, and that's when he gave up the 2 hits.
In the 9th inning.
Yep, in the 9th inning. But the Yankees had a bigger lead, of course. This is still a game at 7-3.
4 runs. They get 3 people on first.
It's still dangerous. You don't want it to get sweaty.
Sweaty?
Yeah, it would get sweaty.
Nobody gonna get sweaty in this.
The 1-1. Swing and miss. Update on Mariano Rivera. He threw off flat ground today for about 8 minutes. Tomorrow he's going to throw off a bullpen mound. He wants to get back by the end of the week. The Yankees are probably going to keep him a little bit longer as he rehabs from the groin pull. Strike 3 outside corner. Kadire down looking. So Jason Anderson has retired the first 2 Twins he's faced here in the 9th. Yankees 1 out away from an opening day win.
You know, Joe, I asked Joe, I said, what is a couple of things that you really enjoy being as a manager? And I said, when you see a kid like this who earns his way onto the ball club in the pinstripes for the first time, he's young. He said, boy, when you call him in the office, he said, it just gives you the biggest thrill in the world to tell him, hey, kid, you did a job in spring training and you made this ball club. He said, I really love doing that.
A.J. Przinsky looks at a pitch low.
He said, I got some good news for you and I got some bad news for you. He said, first of all, you've made the club. Second of all, the bad news is you can't wear those jeans on a charter.
There's a fly ball to left field. Appropriate that Matsui will make the last out. He puts it away, and the Yankees win their home opener in the 100th anniversary season 7-3. Andy Pettit with the win, and the big gold star goes to Hideki Matsui. His first hit at Yankee Stadium, a grand slam in the 5th inning.
As cold as this home opener was, Godzilla's grand slam had ignited Yankees fans' thoughts of a new murderer's row and another world championship. I'll be back with a final comment in a moment.
I was happy, my teammates were happy, and most of all, the fans were really happy. So for me, that was one of the greatest moments I've ever had.
In a single game, in one swing of the bat, Hideki Matsui won over the Yankees faithful and proved he could perform on baseball's biggest and most critical stage. Perhaps the Yankees' longtime left field woes were over, and another clutch performer was added to help lead the Yankees to a 27th World Championship. I'm John Sterling, and thank you for joining us on this Yankees Classic.